Well, welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. This is Let's Play What Save File Am I On? Cool. Read book. Classroom. Okay. Good morning, Lunar D8. How do you enjoy the rest of your weekend? Yeah, it was good. Thanks for asking. How was yours? Acceptable. I caught up on my studies and practiced violin. Violin, huh? This sounds pretty cool. Indeed. Do you play instruments? Well, no. I see. I feel like my skill set pales in comparison to yours, Mew. That kind of thing doesn't matter to me, really. However, I have a lot of respect for people that study hard. Good grades are very important to me. Good grades, huh? And in fact, if I were to ever date anybody, they would have to rival me in terms of academic effort. I wouldn't accept anyone that didn't excel in their studies and perform well in exams. Interesting, I'll keep that in mind. Very well. Anyway, enjoy your classes today. Study hard. School finished. Let's see. Spend time with Bakari. Hang out. Hang out with Bakari and realize I'm absolutely busting to use the bathroom. Kari frowns, I frantically hop down and try to keep it in. Kari's affection increased by 1. Read book. Read. Finished reading book. Time to get some sleep. Rooftop park. Go to school. Yui is stifling a gigantic yawn when I see her in the corridor. Oh, Lunar, I'm so sleepy. Big night watching horror films? Yeah. Well, how do you know? Well, you told me it was your hobby, so... Oh, that's right. Tee? You're right, of course. Say, Yui, do you remember when you told me about trying to find someone to date before New Year's Eve? Yes, I do remember that. Why do you ask? Well, I want to know, what exactly do you look for in someone? I like quiet and shy people, just myself, I suppose. But they have to be passionate about the same things as me, not just horror films and scary stories, but all manner of occult subjects. I really like how they had an act of alchemy just like me. There's something romantic about the thought of slipping each other's love potions and laying the nice clothes in. Intense. Yep, I think I overshared a bit. It's okay, I'm happy to know. Thank you. Yeah? Head up the roof and have lunch with Kara Yui as usual. To my surprise, the girls are nowhere to be found. Well, I guess I'm eating alone today. Take a seat at my usual spot and find something out of the ordinary. Unfamiliar girl is standing at the orchard or rooftop. She's staring over the railing, lost in her own thoughts. The girl is tall and tan, with short, dark hair. She's definitely a tomboy type. She seems like she's right at home, playing sports, socializing with a large group of friends. I'm surprised to see that someone like her is up here all alone. I expect to see a big group of friends come upstairs any minute, but she's definitely all up alone. Somehow, she must have sensed me staring at her because she turns to look at me. It's a very small sandwich. Like, is it just tomatoes and lettuce? Where is the meat? Oh, hey, what's up? Oh, sorry. I just saw you standing here alone and wondered if you were okay. You were worried about me? Aw, that's super cute. I'm all good, but thanks for asking. I'm glad to hear that. I'm Lunar D8, by the way. I haven't seen you around. Are you a first year too? Nah, I'm a third year. My name's Ray. I thought you looked a little young. You're a first year, huh? Man, I miss my days the first year. I had so much energy, haha. Ray flashed a goofy smile, and I somehow instantly feel comfortable around her. She has this familiar, warming presence. She's the complete opposite of Mio, who is initially cold but standoffish. But hold on, what are you doing up here? I usually eat my lunch here with friends, but they didn't join me today. Bummer, that sucks. I know, let's eat together. Ray holds out the sandwich she's been gently nibbling and offers it to me. Try this, it's the best damn thing you ever taste. Look at the sandwich in disbelief. It looks pretty ordinary, maybe it has some special recipe sauce. Go on, don't be shy, take a bite. I lean forward and hesitantly take a cautious bite from the sandwich. You know, she kind of reminds me of Mihoshi Kuramitsu from the Tenchi Muyo series. Though I do feel they Flanderized Mihoshi the same way they did Goku. And for anyone not familiar with the term Flanderization, it's Ned Flanders in The Simpsons. Originally, he was supposed to be your average man. He was supposed to be just the average dude who goes to church. That's it. But they just kept harping up that one thing over and over and over. Then they made him a complete one-dimensional character. They made something that was supposed to be just an extra bit of flavor to his character be a overarching thing that just dominates everything else. Same way, Goku. Yeah, Akira Toriyama didn't write romance scenes with him and Chi-Chi. And he didn't write him, you know, knowing the calculus. But one, how was he supposed to know calculus? He was living in the woods. How would he have learned it? It's not that Goku's dumb. It's just he just didn't have the opportunity to learn the damn stuff. After all, there's no reason why Goku couldn't have, like, trained with Roshi and also did some studying with, like, Bulma. I think it would have been interesting, like, Goku... I still dislike the fact that Goku, like, didn't get any stronger during the 5-year time skip, but again, you know, it was story convenience. After all, power creep's kind of a hard thing to avoid, and you're always trying to outdo yourself in the shonen animes. Heck, I've even tried to redo the scales of Dragon Ball to just, like, for the interest of just trying to make the lowest power levels possible, with the idea that the first time you have a person capable of destroying a planet is final form Frieza. So the idea is Frieza was in his final form when he blew up Planet Vegeta, which I already mentioned all that in a community post, but it was just like... it just got out of hand. By the time I got the Cell Saga, I had everyone at triple the power levels that they're listed at the quote-unquote, you know, official numbers. But main point is this. Goku was not meant to be stupid, and he was not meant to be non-romantic. It was that Akira Toriyama, one, wrote an amazing anime and manga that I have the 10 VHS uncut, uncensored box set of the Frieza saga. 10 VHS tapes in a box set. And it's amazing. It's really the show's great. But one, Akira Toriyama, avoided romance because he didn't want the show to be about that. He wanted it to be an action show with a little bit of comedy here and there. But he wanted to focus on the action. He didn't want the story to be about romance. It's not that there's anything wrong with romance. It's just, you know, he didn't want the show to be about it. It's like there's a lot of shows where, you know, the characters are obviously fucking each other, but you're not going to show that. Even if it's for mature audiences, it breaks up the pacing of the show. After all, yes, they're fucking, but I don't want Dragon Ball Z to be a hentai. Now granted, if I want to see hentai or fan arts of that, or amazing fan service, there's a ton of that on the internet. But I don't want that to be in Dragon Ball itself. You know, I like hentai a lot, but I don't want Dragon Ball Z to be about that. Now that being said, just because I'm not seeing scenes of Goku pounding Chi-Chi's pussy, it doesn't mean that he's not having sex with her. It just means that, hey, maybe, you know, it's not, you know, belonging in the show for us to be watching. It's not meant to be a sex show. And, like, here's the thing. I like hentai. I enjoy lots of hentai. But I don't want hentai in my Dragon Ball Z. It's like I like chocolate a lot. And I like spicy foods. But I don't want them together. That'd be disgusting. And don't be wrong. I certainly would like to find plenty of doujinshis of, you know, very erotic pictures of, say, Chi-Chi and Bulma and Android 18 and all that. Or, say, Ranfan and Launch for any of you Dragon Ball fans. But that being said, I don't want that in the actual show. I don't want the actual show to be about that. The other thing is Akira Toriyama felt he would be a bad writer when it came to romance, which honestly I feel he's selling himself short. I feel he would have done an amazing job at writing romance if he, tried it, but again, it was not what he wanted. He wanted an action show. But because, one, they avoided that stuff over and over for the sake of censorship, they make it look like Goku's a complete dumb person who doesn't kiss or fuck his wife or anything and is unromantic at all. And it's not that he's unromantic, it's just that it would screw the pacing of the show, and it wouldn't really belong in terms of the show. Even if you did it tastefully, it doesn't belong in the actual show. Like, it doesn't mean Goku isn't having wild sex with Chi-Chi. It just means that maybe, even for adults that are still enjoying Dragon Ball Z, who do look at tons of hentai, we still don't want to see hentai in the Dragon Ball. Now, granted, yeah, I can look up tons of hentai with all sorts of animes, including Dragon Ball Z, on Google or whatever, and that's awesome. I really enjoy a lot of the amazing art I find. Yes, a lot of it's futa, but main point being is this. I like hentai a lot. Heck, I like tentacle hentai. I like hentai. But I don't want it in my Dragon Ball Z. There are many games that I play for either action or amazing stories, or just escapism, or just to enjoy a beautiful, amazing world. And yes, if there's people there, I want them to be attractive too, but I don't want them to be constantly fucking each other. Yes, I like sex. Yes, I like hentai. Yes, I like fan service, and it's fucking awesome. But I do want some games where it's like, that's not the point of the game. Now, obviously, if you're making a game that's around the idea of people that you're going to be seeing all the time, yes, they should be attractive. There's no reason why they shouldn't be. Because I'll tell you this, I'm not attractive, and at no point has an attractive anime character ever made me feel bad about myself. If anything, I think it's fucking awesome. Heck, Baki the Grappler characters have like fucking muscles that shouldn't anatomically be possible. Like they have like a fucking six-pack on their jaw and shit. Now granted, there are some people that do like Instagram things where like there's a dude who does a Yujiro cosplay and holy shit, he actually does a good job at pretty much pulling off the Yujiro. And here's the thing, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to trying to get jacked like that at one point. But obviously that's something that requires a tremendous amount of discipline and hard work, and all around requires you to be honestly a very, very talented person in every way. I mean, one could say it's genetics, but honestly anybody can do it. But the amount of effort that it takes, honestly, I don't know if I'll ever have that level of dedication to that, and at the end of the day, I'm not sure I'd ever want to, because I don't think I'd be happy living the kind of life that would be required in order to get that kind of physique. Oh my god. But that being said, it's certainly impressive and something to be applauded. Anyone who actually does achieve that in real life, oh my god, the amount of hard work you had to put in for that, because at that point it doesn't even matter how good your genetics are, you have to fucking put in the work for that, and that's good for you. And in general, I feel everyone should go to the gym. That being said, I also say, everyone, please be careful, don't get hurt at the gym, please know your limits. You don't, hurt or sprain or strain anything. Just make improvements, okay? And most of all, just, take care of your health. But, yeah, at no point has a fucking anime character made me feel bad about my appearance. I'm pretty much just your average Joe. That being said, yeah, I'm definitely not, sexy or hot or anything, but that being said, that's fine. The reasons I feel bad for that are completely separate. It has nothing to do with anime. At no point has anyone being attractive in a movie or in a video game or an anime ever made me feel bad. That being said, I do love fan service and sexy, beautiful women with giant tits and a nice ass and nice skimpy clothing in anime and video games. And I like fan service and mangas and all that shit. But that being said, there are some I don't want fan service in. Like, obviously, yes, I do want there to be a little bit of, in Dragon Ball Z, like, women are drawn very pretty and you can see they got big tits or something. But I don't want scenes of people, like Like, obviously, yes, Goku's fucking Chi-Chi, but I don't want to see it in the show. Now, yeah, I'll look up hentai of Chi-Chi and Bulma and Android 18, but I don't want to see them, like, I don't want to see, like, Chi-Chi and Bulma 69 each other in the show. That's not where it belongs. Now, that being said, there's plenty of shows that their purpose is the fan service. That's good. It's just, and there's nothing wrong with some tits and shit here and there a little bit. But main point, Dragon Ball Z is an action show. I want the action. I want a good show. But then the day, the question is, like, what's enjoyable in a show? And of course, there's a lot of people that would different things. It's just, like, if I'm playing a racing game, you know, yeah, tits are nice, but I don't need to have tits show up every now and then. I mean, I'd like to, if I'm playing a racing game that's testing my reflexes, I'd rather just focus on that. Like, I like the old Halo 3 co-op stuff and the original Halo. I heard that the original Halo trilogy is going to be coming to PlayStation 5 at some point. I think that's fucking awesome. I think it would be amazing if, like, the original Halo game had an online, you know, matchmaking on a PS5. That's awesome. And no crossplay with that. Just PS5 only. But, yeah, I just like the... And that being said, maybe people could do stuff with mods, but... Heck, I know I made jokes at one point about making all the Halo characters into femboys and futas and anime characters, and, like, you just have, like, instead of the Arbiter, you just have, like, Goku and stuff, but... Main point is, like, yeah, it's cool to have some mods here and there, but if I'm actually just straight up playing a game and in, like, its normal, unmodded form, you know, I want to just enjoy the game. I don't want to be, like, broken out of the immersion of it. You know? But, yeah. I still say it'd be really cool to have a remake of the Pokemon Orange... I say Pokemon Orange Islands was the best of all the Pokemon Orange... all the Pokemon seasons. And most people don't even know the Pokemon Orange Islands exists. But, I want a remake of Pokemon series that is as close to as it can be without Nintendo, you know, getting a copyright issue with Raging Golden Eagle. But I want it to be made by Raging Golden Eagle and Asmongold. And I want them to remake the Pokemon anime as close as they can without that where they can't be copyright. And I want the story to basically relatively be the same from the beginning of the series in Kanto and Indigo up into Orange Islands. And I want the movie with Mewtwo and with Lugia, Pokemon 2000, the movie, to be canon. Heck, even the short little intro movies, you know, Pokemon Vacation, and the... Also, that was crazy. I like listen to the original Pokemon soundtracks for the first 3 movies. Absolutely bangers. I would listen to mixtures of that and Rammstein and System Down and Korn and Tool and Perfect Circle and all sorts of great things. Of course, Final Fantasy soundtracks, like Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy V. And then you have... yeah, Bruce Faulconer, Dragon Ball Z soundtrack. Forget what I'm talking about. I got confused. I'm not sure what we're talking about anymore. I was talking about music. Alright, Mihoshi, because, you know, cute. But, yeah. They... Battle like music and... Alright, Raging Golden Eagle. But, yeah. Have it start over, but, like, Ash and Brock and Misty, all of them are like 20 before they leave to go to places. And Jesse and James are basically the same age as they normally are. And they are still comedic villains the whole way through. But then, when we get to the Pokemon 2000 move, Lugia, where they sacrifice their lives for Ash, but the other Pokemon save them, after that, instead of them going back to continue to be villains, I want them to basically do a full-on turn, to where now they're full-on good guys. And now Jesse and James... And they're not even comedic good guys. They're just normal protagonists. They're just as much of a protagonist as Ash Ketchum. And what we have is then Jesse and James are actually traveling with Misty and Brock and Tracy and all of them as like best friends. And so like Jesse and James are like sleeping right next to Ash Ketchum, and you know, they're just like chilling. Like Meowth would just be chilling out with Brock. They're cooking food together since they're both like really good cooks. You know? But here's the thing. After this point, you know, the rest of the Red Rocket, you know, Team Rocket, whatever it is. I was thinking of Jesse's hair. Okay, who else had a bit of a crush on Jessie from the Team Rocket? Well, I gotta say, you just see her blasting off all the time, but red hair just like spiraling out. Kind of reminds you, as far as, you know, just a rocket being launched up in the sky. How much is Elon Musk doing on the whole SpaceX stuff? When are we gonna see more of that? Like, what's he really doing with that? I mean, that's cool, and I understand that stuff takes time, but... Huh. Then again, when are we getting the genetically engineered cat girls, Elon? I'm waiting on that. Though Elon Musk was originally saying the thing about supporting Donald Trump. I want to say that too. Not that I fucking mad, I'm just a crazy person on the fucking internet. I am a Christian bisexual femboy who loves futanari, and I support Donald Trump. But that being said, I think Elon Musk thinks too small with the genetically engineered cat girls. You guys remember, what is it? What is that name of that show? Azure Lane Crosswave? It's a thing where there's a race of people, but they're like giant anime girls that are also battleships. Okay, Elon Musk, where are our giant kaiju battleship anime girls? I don't even remember what the fuck we're... Oh, right, Raging Golden Eagle. But I want to see him remake, you know, Pokemon, and I mean, Jesse and James become good guys after the whole thing. At the Pokemon 2000 thing with Lugia, that movie, the second Pokemon movie, released literally in the year 2000. So that's like 24 fucking years ago. But after we get to that, when like the next, you know, part of the series after Orange Islands is the Johto League, I want things to take a bit of a turn. Now, I don't want it to be super dark. Like, we're not talking like Berserk, Golden Age, you know, the Eclipse of Griffith shit going on. Hell no, that's way, way, way too much. Holy shit, no. But I am saying having a maturity level of, say, Bleach or One Piece. And we have the rest of, you know, Team Rocket with Giovanni and Butch and Cassidy and all them become more of a more serious threat. A more dark, non-comedic villains. Now, I'm not saying they go, like, again, like, Berserk or Gantz level shit. Like, it shouldn't become, like, gore. Like, yes, obviously it's going to be a little more mature. And there's going to be a little bit of sexual themes. And there's going to be a little bit of violence. More than what's in the original. But again, I don't want them fucking each other. As much as I have probably thought very provocatively about Jessie from Team Rocket, I don't want to see her in actual hentai scene in the full normal series. Now, yes, I'll definitely enjoy tons and tons of pictures of it on the internet from fan creations, but I don't want the, like, if Raging Gold Eagle were to full-on make a new series, if he was allowed, which that would be a huge hassle, but I'm just saying this is all a huge what if. I'm just saying if he were allowed to make such a thing, yes, I would want lots of fan service. I'd want her to be skinny and have big tits and be very, very pretty. But I don't want to have a scene of her, you know, getting fucked or fucking or whatever. You know, I want it to be tasteful. And I want the show to be about, you know, what Pokemon's about. You know, traveling the world and exploring and seeing new amazing things. Like, that's one thing I kind of bitch about sometimes. Like, I enjoy going on the bike trail, but it'd be nice if it wasn't the same bike trail all the time. It'd be nice if there was like some cherry blossom trees or something. Because here's the thing, why are there not more cherry blossom trees in America? Really? Why? Why? Why are there not more cherry blossom trees in America? They're really pretty. Why don't I get to see more of them? Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make the maple and oak trees and the sycamores and the birches and all them feel bad. I like those trees too. I'm just saying, like, it'd be cool if I could actually walk and it'd just be like the environment from Bloodborne, you know, minus the enemies and all the hazards. And I could just walk and see amazing, huge Gothic architecture. Or walk around in like Final Fantasy VIII, like, okay. Imagine that, it was like But then, I know, it's a bit of a silly thing, but it's like, take all the amazing backgrounds that are in so many video games. That looks so fucking awesome. And it's just, I like the backgrounds. I mean, imagine if you could just actually physically walk around them. Heck, if anything, just take a game you enjoyed from the past and just imagine, what if you were just to walk through it? Just take a game, even from the PlayStation generation, the PS1 era, and imagine if you just walked around. You modded out all the enemies, you modded out all the hazards, you modded out any of the things that could actually harm your character, and you just casually, you know, strolled around in that place. And now let's say you make it into a VR thing, and everyone can actually feel immersed into it. And now there's other people there, and you can be sociable. So then, you know, the greatest threat at Bloodborne isn't, you know, some sort of, you know, werewolf thing, or, you know, I don't know. Main point, aside from it means if you're walking around like Bloodborne, your main issue wouldn't be like people with giant like chainsaws and shit. It would be just social anxiety. And also imagine weather. Of course, that'd be hard to mod in, but like imagine if you could like go outside and walk in amazing different weather, but not be like drowned. Because like I say, I really enjoy watching amazing thunderstorms, but I don't want to be out in the thunderstorm, because that's, one, extremely uncomfortable. Then your clothes get wet, and you get sick, and everything starts to chafe, and then you start to get rash, and everything's painful and it hurts. You're cold and it's achy. So no. I don't know what we're talking. Alright, Pokemon. Just saying. That was the main thing Pokemon was about. It's just like seeing new amazing places and traveling. That's so cool. Heck, imagine if you made a VR that's based on all the different locations and environments. You just see all these amazing trees and plants and worlds. That's so cool. Okay. What was I talking about? Or flanderization. But yeah, that's the thing. Goku was like, he was not supposed to be stupid or non-romantic. It was just, that was, you know, they didn't want the show to be about that. It's the kind of thing with Batman. Why doesn't Batman kill people? One, as far as the in-universe reason, well, because Batman has deep psychological trauma, and he is not emotionally okay with the idea of killing people or using guns. Secondly, he has a very strong sense of honor. Thirdly, in scope of still being in-universe, is the fact that there would never have been a need for that. Because here's the thing, I'll tell you this. Even in the Injustice movies, let's be clear. If anybody killed the Joker in that situation, they wouldn't go to trial. And even in a world that had where death penalty is considered completely wrong and unacceptable, they still would have fucking killed the dude for nuking a city. Even if it's a world that had already completely abolished the death penalty, they would have put him to death for that. Not to mention, I mean, here's the thing, you go with Batman the Animated Series. There are so many times in which, like in the first couple episodes, you see Joker. He's literally, like, you're not just showing it as killed, you know, laughing stuff, but he's essentially killed hundreds of people. Again, even in a place like, yes, again, proper mental health, I think, is a very important thing for people to do. And I think people, you know, should take better care of mental health. Heck, my main advice for people with depression is just listen to some music, make some friends, hopefully find somebody who loves and cares about you, get more hugs. I would say hugs are probably one of the most important things you can have, and just generally feel safe and reduce the amount of stress and anxiety in your life. Aside from that, find ways to express yourself. Just make sure they're not hurting yourself or hurting anyone else. Also, it's important to have time for self-reflection, to talk about your feelings. Also, if there's anything you can actually do to improve your life, you should definitely do that, but of course make manageable, achievable goals. Go to the gym, learn to draw, learn foreign languages, play instruments, sing karaoke, even if you're bad at it. Even if you are bad at karaoke, I still think you should sing karaoke. You know? Because I find music is very expressive. And here's the thing. While I wouldn't recommend crying in front of other people, because in general I tend to be a very stoic person IRL, and I don't really talk about my feelings or, well, cry in front of people. Heck, I think the only times I've ever really cried in front of people was usually situations where people died. That being said, I'd say in general I've probably cried just about every day of my life. I just do that in private. It helps me feel better. Now, obviously, maybe not the same would be true for everyone. I'm just saying it works for me. Maybe you can help other people. I think the main thing it helps with is just the fact that it releases endorphins and also allows you to vent certain emotions. That way you can release the stress of those feelings in a safe, controlled environment and generally make yourself a more functioning member of society and make yourself happier and more stable. You know, at the end of the day, different people may need that. Some people may not. Some people may benefit from that once a month, and some people may have a lot more of a mountain of repressed feelings. That being said, I would certainly say that don't really do that in front of other people, because you never know who you can really trust, and even then, it's a very personal thing, so you probably shouldn't be doing it in front of other people. But there's nothing wrong with letting yourself cry or express feelings from time to time, and especially if they're very strong feelings, then especially if you don't feel comfortable sharing those in front of other people, then you should be able to share those feelings with yourself. Allow yourself to better understand yourself better, allow yourself to vent certain feelings, and also if there are ways to correct or improve upon things in your life that are problems, well, by having enough time to think about it, you can perhaps think of solutions on how to fix things. But there's no way to actually act on a solution if you're not able to be calm, collected, or, well, happy. If you're too emotionally broken up by something, then how can you move forward on it? But if you allow yourself a chance to actually let those feelings out and cry a bit, and like I said, I would suggest just doing it in private. And if you're a kind of person that does have a lot of walls around your feelings and has a lot of trouble actually letting that part of your feelings out, again, just cut yourself off from outside distractions for the most part. You know, lay in your room in the middle of dark in your bed with the fan on, no other sounds or anything out there in the world, and if anything, put some headphones on and listen to some music, whatever music you like, whether it be some metal music or classical, whether it's ASMR or say it's nightcore music. And of course, even if a music is a type that you're not familiar with, like nightcore, I would suggest listen to that. One, you may like it, and even then there's a lot of variety to it. The main thing is music definitely helps to, I guess, probably activate the parts of the brains, the neuron, that would be letting you really get in touch with those sorts of feelings. Plus allows you time to just think about things and just let those emotions out. Now, again, that's not for everybody. There are some people that would probably consider that just incredibly stupid or pussy or whatever, or would find it not helpful to them at all, and that's fine. The question is, what is helpful to you? So, it's simply a type of advice, and you can either use it or not. You can take it and use it, or you not. It's just, if it's useful to you, cool. If it's not useful to you, then whatever. You don't need to use it. I'm not saying you have to do anything. I'm just saying, hey, here's a list of options. It may help you. You may find your life improved from it. Now, if you feel no need for it, then that's fine too. I'm just putting some options out there for people. That, hey, here's a few extra ways to try to just feel better. Now again, I don't know what advice use that is, coming from a person that tends to be chronically depressed and a bit sad about certain things, but it helps me to feel better. And same way I try to encourage people to keep trying on things, but I'm a fucking failure at everything in life. But I'll tell you this, for whatever it's worth, coming from a person who is a fucking failure, keep trying. Don't ever give up, and if anything, just keep making small, gradual improvements. And don't be so hard on yourself. You know, yeah, you're not accomplishing your goals the way you want. Just keep trying then. At the end of the day, that's all you can do. Even if you can't do what you really want to do, then just do your best. But yeah, they flanderized Goku in this. I understand, sometimes they did it for the sake of avoiding certain things. But also they did it sometimes for just a cheap joke. Making fun of Goku for not being romantic enough. Making fun of Goku for being stupid. And it was just a cheap, easy way out. It was just a way to make a, oh, haha, cheap, funny joke. But they did it so many times, it's like I did a character assassination of a man, Goku. But yeah, as far as with Batman, there's no way in world Batman would ever have to actually kill anyone. Not to mention the fact that, given the fact that he's a super strong, athletic person, he's punching people. Never minding like the blades on the back of his arm or the stuff with cars or people falling. Let's be clear. It's not that hard to accidentally punch someone and kill them. Yeah, there's sometimes a lot of people fight, stuff goes on. But let's be clear. One, what about the people afterward who are like covered in bruises, broken bones? What about complications? What about illnesses? What about medical bills? What about, like, heck, if some of the people get hanged off the side of a building with the bat rope, what if that broke the legs in the person's legs? What if it, like, broke the tibias or the shins? What if it tore a tendon out of place? Or, heck, there's people that get fights at bars, and they punch a dude once, knock him down, and leave. Think nothing of it, and then get a knock at the door later from the cops saying, hey, that person you punched, when they hit the ground, they hit their head too hard and they died. Like, in general, and that's just from average people. We're dealing with Batman, who is, in comics, even conservatively, is estimated to be far beyond what the greatest that a real-life human could ever be in every category. Honestly, at that point, yes, he's not superpowered. But honestly, there should be like a 95% mortality rate for everyone Batman punches. It's not like... It'd be like, imagine if Mike Tyson went out fighting crime. I would say 70% of all the people Mike Tyson would punch would just be dead. Like, here's the thing. I try to copy some of Mike Tyson's exercise things. Will I ever be even a billionth of the type of boxer he is? No. Mike Tyson is one of the greatest boxers to ever live. And me, I am not athletic at all. But at least by trying to copy him a little bit, I can at least be better than what I was yesterday. So I can at least improve upon myself. I will never come even remotely close to being anywhere near the level of power or skill of Mike Tyson. But I can at least be better than what I was the previous day. But the main thing is this. There's no way Batman can go around just, even as just a normal athletic person, getting all these fights without someone just accidentally dying. Let alone being as fucking trained as he is. Then, there's the fact that there's all these other people contending with each other, especially villains. Let's be clear, there's enough people that would have got pissed off that eventually the police, the government, or just the average random Joe is going to start hunting down, the Penguin and killing him because of how much shit they cause for the average person. Heck, there could just be business owners and be like, our company's going to go bankrupt because of this guy doing the stuff with the laughing gas. Not to mention actual fucking crime bosses that exist in the show. Like, they would eventually just hire hitmen or have a hit squad take people out. Like, eventually somebody would just pay Deadshot or Deathstroke to kill the Joker. Because they would get tired of, well, I'd like to have imagine just a mafia boss. A mafia boss or a cartel boss who's trying to run an operation, and then some guy runs through throwing poison gas everywhere. That can't be good for them. I mean, they're technically trying to run a business. And at that point, Joker's getting in the way of their profits. Killing their customers. Causing more problems. Destroying their product. You think they would have an issue? Not to mention the villains with each other. Like, eventually, Deadshot might just get pissed off enough at Joker to kill him himself. Or, like, eventually, there should be a point where, like, whether it's Scarecrow with the... Like, a lot of people use, like, chemical weapons, which, again, could be considered, like, war crimes. I don't know if it counts as a war crime. You're not affiliated with an actual country. But the main point is that these are things that are considered, immoral even for situations of war. And then you have these average people who are basically doing the equivalent of terrorist attacks with hundreds of casualties, millions, if not billions of dollars of property damage, damage to infrastructure. I mean, at that point, it'd be like... even like every level of government would be considering a major problem with this person. Even in a world that had no death penalty. But I'm just saying, even the villains like Scarecrow, Joker, all them, eventually they would just start coming after each other. Because there's no way they wouldn't be inconveniencing each other enough. But again, the final reason why Batman doesn't kill, and this is the only reason that's out of universe, that has to do with our real world, about why Batman doesn't kill people, because the show is rated Y7. The show is meant for 7-year-olds. The original audience of the show is 7-year-olds. You cannot have the hero of a show meant for little kids be killing people. That would be like if Blue's Clues brought out a fucking chainsaw and sawed a dude in half. You can't do that. And here's the thing. I remember watching a lot of Blue's Clues. It is an adorable little puppy dude. And it's fucking awesome as a show. Now, granted, I understand it went through multiple iterations. It changed the, the Steve, the human at some point. But again, that's human actors. You can't really avoid that. I mean, heck, some shows write it into the plot of the show that a character dies or something. Or you just have a character that looks drastically different as a person because the actors change. You know, real life does affect things. But the main point being is that it's a show for kids. You can't have a show for little kids having overly sexual themes. Or the same way with Pokemon. You can't have overly sexual themes in the Pokemon or overly violent stuff because it's meant for little kids. But I'll also say this, even if Raging Golden Eagle had permission to remake the show with Ash and all of them as 20 and made it more mature like One Piece or Bleach level, yes, there's going to be a little bit more sexual themes, there's going to be a little bit more violence, but I certainly wouldn't want straight up fucking gore or murder occurring. I still wouldn't want straight up hentai scenes, and I'm quite the connoisseur of hentai. I made a video called The Ministry of Off-Brand Anomalous Anime, where it was literally me just, talking about how much I love fucking hentai and shit. Okay? As much as I love hentai, I don't want it in the animes that I'm watching. Now, granted, there are some animes that are really cool, like Hunter... Not Hunter x Hunter, I mean... That's a great anime too, but that's not getting to the point I'm trying to say. And of course, Black Lagoon doesn't quite get it either. I think it's Hunter DxD. I can't remember. Why is my memory so fucking... You guys know what I mean. The zombie thing where they have guns and lots of bouncy titties with amazing jiggle physics. Like, that's still not straight up sex, but it's extremely heavy on the fan service. And I'll tell you this, it's fucking amazing. It's awesome. Then if I had to really... But, it's not straight up hentai. And then there's a few others that go a little further that aren't straight up hentai, but they actually have all-route nudity. But if I had to, suggest, old animes for people, I'd be like Bubblegum Crisis, Tokyo 2040, The Slayers of Lena Inverse, Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell is a great anime. But, yeah. I like hentai. But I wouldn't want to see it in an official release of Dragon Ball Z. Like, if there's a full-on... say if they make a Dragon Ball Super Cooler movie. I do want to see a scene where, Yamcha's fighting against Black Frieza. And the same way, and then he's, protecting Chi-Chi and Bulma because Vegeta's off fighting Cooler. And then Goku gets there and sees Yamcha having been beaten to a bloody pulp by Black Frieza. And I want that one singular scene of Dragon Ball Super to be animated by the Baki the Grappler animator team. And then I want Goku to see Yamcha battered and bruised and be so enraged he finds this new ultimate level of power. And then he kills Frieza with the Wolf Fang Fist. I'm just saying this. I like hentai. And I would certainly like big titty girls in Dragon Ball Z and a few little bits of fan service here and there. But I don't want straight up hentai in my Dragon Ball Z. If it's an officially released Dragon Ball Z movie, I don't want it to be hentai. Because it's Dragon Ball Z. It's not that there's anything wrong with hentai. It's just that it's not what it's about. I want the amazing fight scenes. I want to see people have fight scenes that later on... And here's the thing, we have Hatsune Miku doing 3D hologram concert. That's cool. But when we get like Def Clock, Metalocalypse, or say in a UFC ring recreation of Goku versus Majin Vegeta with 3D holograms. You know? Main point is they flander... Same way... Again, Mihoshi Kuramitsu. I'd say the original, like... Now, Tenchi had multiple reboots, sort of like... It changed the story quite, because you had Tenchi Muyo, the original OVAs, and then you had Tenchi Universe, Tenchi Tokyo, Tenchi Movies, Tenchi Ryo Oki, Tenchi GXP, Tenchi War Geminar, Tenchi AI, Tenchi Forever, and there's more and more, which are all awesome. But honestly, if I had to recommend anything to anyone, I would say the original Tenchi Muyo OVAs and Tenchi Muyo Ryo Oki OVAs. Absolutely incredible, and that's usually the main one I would always recommend to people. But I would say also Tenchi Universe is also incredibly good. I would say out of Tenchi Universe, the main thing worth noting is Kione, which in that version of the story is Mihoshi's police partner, and she is absolutely gorgeous. I'd say... Like, there's so many hot, beautiful women in the Tenchi series, but I would say Kione, Mihoshi, Washu, and Ryoko. Absolutely. But there's lots and lots of people. But yeah, they flanderized her. Because here's the thing, she was meant to be the super, like... Mihoshi was supposed to be smarter than your average person. She was supposed to have a sort of almost serendipitous type of intelligence when it comes to certain things, and especially be very street smart on certain things, but also be a bit naive and innocent on a few things, and a very hardworking, dedicated, athletic person who was very skillful. Now that being said, it's also supposed to be that she was very overworked, and that she was so overly dedicated and passionate to her career that she became so stressed out from the anxiety that she had a bit of a mental breakdown and just sort of crashed a little bit, but not in a way that's, you know, psycho or anything, but more so in just a little bit more of her ditzy nature comes out, and she just is sort of like a pure innocent cinnamon roll and is a bit clumsy. And a little bit of a comedy thing here and there. But for the most part, she was meant to still be taken seriously. And they dialed it up so much for comedic effect, though, that they made her look like she was stupid. And it's like, no, Mihoshi's not supposed to be stupid. Then again, maybe she was meant to be that way. And I'm just, you know, same with Goku. Like, you don't want to see, you know, Goku be mistreated like that, be like, turned into an idiot. You're like, no, he's not like that, he's my hero. Same way with like Mihoshi, you're like, well, she's extremely beautiful and she's got a really nice personality and a very nice voice. Then again, I like Ryoko's voice, I like Washu's voice, I like Kyoto's voice. That's the thing, great voice acting goes a long way too. But also a lot of animes, how expressive a lot of the faces are and the personalities. I would say, if anybody was thinking the whole family route, I would say Mihoshi would probably be... Now, granted, arguments could be made for Kione and Ryoko, and definitely for Washu, given special certain episodes. I don't know what this episode was. It was me just talking about, hey, there's this character Mihoshi Kuramitsu from Tenchi Muyo, and I think she's very pretty. The end. But yeah, I'll probably end the video. Sorry I rambled so much. I'll try not to do that in the future. Bye.